Hi there, Sandra here from createinspain and Siser, Juliet Beginners to Pro. I have a tip or two for you today on stencils. Now the first thing is, what do you want to cut your stencils from? You've got lots of alternatives. You can use plastic, you can use card, you can use paper, all sorts of things depending on how you want to use your stencil at the end of the day. Now, if you want to do stencils like the sort that you buy in the shops, then I suggest you get yourself some of this because it is actually cheaper than buying stencil material. €2.25 in my local Chinese shop, and I've got 12 A4 document wallets. Now, 12 of those means that's 2 sides to each one, 24 sheets in total. So I have here part of a stencil that is being cut out. Now it does cut pretty easily. You need to test your settings because everyone's machines are different, but it cuts really well. Now what I've got here is a common mistake in that I looked at it once it was cut and I saw all this had cut out and things were moving on it, so I thought fine, great, I took it off the mat and suddenly realised that not everything was cut. However, the beauty of this, and let me zoom in a bit, you could see that these were cut but they are not coming out. And the great thing about using this plastic is that there is a wonderful way of getting them to come out. Now these I have done already and there are some there that I haven't. Get yourself a thick piece of craft foam and put it underneath your stencil. Get something blunt like a nail dotting tool and go. And I'll tell you something else, if you've got kids who like doing popping of bubble wrap, they will really enjoy this. And they'll probably want to do it for you. So you won't even have to do it. And then you can simply pull them out because once the tension has been broken, they will usually come out pretty easily. You have to really have undercut it for them not to come out. And since the rest of them were cut well enough, I'm guessing probably that one of the pieces got loose and it got onto the blade because I did a double cut. I did the cut twice. And the second time, I think something moved, got underneath the blade, so it wasn't going to cut through the next time round. Very difficult to keep an eye on it all the time to make sure that doesn't happen, and I was doing something else, so I didn't notice. But there would be nothing wrong with the stencil once I've taken these pieces out. Right, my other tip for stencils is keep an eye on my YouTube channels, both of them, both createinspain and the Siser, Juliet Beginners to Pro, because every now and again I do something on stencils and I give you some free files. I also post them probably more frequently on my Facebook groups of the same name, because I make stencils as a way of relaxing and then I'll just post the files. I post them in SVG format so you can use them no matter what you're cutting with. I'm an equal opportunities crafter. And my other tip is, if you have a design like this, what I generally do is I actually have a cut border. But if you are doing something and it is going to be more or less the same width as whatever you're cutting it from, your material, ungroup the file. Take the border away or hide it or lock it or whatever and just cut this bit. Just make sure to cut it on what you see is what you get. So if you're using the Siser, Juliet or the Romeo, make sure you place the actual design in a little bit from the edge. But if you cut it using what you see is what you get, if you're using shortcuts a lot, you can place it wherever it needs to be on the mat and you will be able to take away the square border and then it'll be in the right position to cut. That is a good tip because if you got it so that your material is just a fraction tight on the width, it can try cutting right the way down the side and sometimes it will move on your mat and then you can have your entire stencil ruined. You can trim off any bits afterwards, that's easy enough to do, but that stencil is fine, that's good to go, I'm quite happy. So hope you've enjoyed that little tip. Take care.